Okay. Thank you. I don't touch. And maybe I can, yeah, okay. So I was asked to provide you with the basic and the level 0, the 101. I'm afraid all of you know more than I do on quantum computing, but if there are any, so please bear with me. And if there are any people that it is useful to know the basic, I'm happy. Are there any? Okay. Thank you, sir. So here we go with the basics. And it will be interactive. Any idea? What is a qubit? Quantum bit, yeah. A quantum system with two defined states. Cool. And that's the physical. So we can do transmon, like Pierre showed. We can do ions. If we control them good, they have two states. We can do photons. Okay, so that's the physical qubit. For quantum computing, what is a qubit? What is the model of a qubit for us? And here I want to destroy, the thing is I want to destroy a qubit is something that is both 1 and 0. No. If you add that, forget. So with that clue, what is a qubit? Exactly, sir. So you have rewards. A qubit is a vector, and that is very. If you get that, you're good. You're good to go. Thank you. You like to destroy laptops like I do? Hopefully. So it's a vector. What is a vector? I'm serious. What is a vector? A mathematical object. Yeah. You could have said it is an element of a vector space. Are you angry? No. What do we ask a vector? What is the axiomatic property of a vector? You have the addition. That's it. And scalar multiplication. But u plus u is already 2u. So for me, it's already good, but you're right. Scalar multiplication. And in this case, it's very important. Yeah. So all we ask a vector is you have one, you have another one. You can add them together, and it stays in the vector place. With that, a qubit is a vector, and it is adding in a two-dimensional space vector, of which there is a basis. We call it 0 and 1 when we talk about quantum computing. We don't call it dead or alive, or whatever, blue or red, north wind or south wind, or whatever a vector can be in your mind, or this and that. We call it 0 and 1, namely ket 0 and ket 1. These are the bases, and any state, a qubit is the model of a qubit is a vector in that space. So any sum of 0 plus sum of 1 is a valid state. There are more details to that, but I want what the real point, if you keep something out of this, is a qubit state is an addition of two states. It's not it's 1 or 0, 1 and 0, blah, blah. No, it is any linear combination of 0 and 1. And when I say 0 and 1, I don't say the number. I say ket 0, ket 1, which are the basis vector. So it is an addition, a linear combination. So the sorry. Okay, so I leave you to read that. It will be shorter. And so the answer is that, and this is a fundamental equation in quantum computing. We define a state, ket psi, as alpha ket 0 plus beta ket 1. There are 2 over two fine lines. One is we only, there are always exceptions, but we only live in a unitary world. So all these valid vectors have norm 1. And there are many consequences of that, or this is a consequence of many other things. All operators are unitary. They preserve the norm, and they have more properties. And the other fine line is alpha and beta are complex numbers. That is the model. That is what works, and that is a qubit. There is a little bit more, because with that, this is already very useful if you think of as an addition, which, by the way, this is called superposition. So when you find people and say, superposition is, I don't understand superposition. Yes, it's the really easiest operation you can think of is addition. That's it. So now you know strongly, you have no mystery about superposition. We'll talk about entanglement. Sorry, did I move too fast? No. So what is a qubit? We can reformulate the qubit formula a little bit. And yeah, all the charts, don't take it. Huh? All the charts are in the Google box. You go from this equation, alpha and beta in polar notation, blah, blah. You do a little bit of manipulation, and you factor the first exponential I phi, and you get to this one. And here is a piece of vocabulary that needs time to really eat. You can get rid of this one. This is what is called the global phase. It does not describe the phenomenon. It does not describe the photons, the electrons, the transmons, or whatever. There is no physical meaning to this, so you can drop it. You can erase, take your eraser and erase, and you're left with that. Where? So now there is a nice point. The first coefficient is real, and the second has still possibly a complex component, and this is called the phase. And this you don't get rid of. You get rid of the global phase, but the phase is very important. You keep it, and that's called the phase. So that's what they here. And the last, so we have that, and okay, I just said that, and from the construction, R1 squared plus R1 squared plus R2 squared is 1. And these are real numbers. So there exists theta, call it an angle, such that this and this is now the formulation. Which leads me to this view. This view exactly maps or is described by the previous, I should have copied here, the previous formula. Here you can find your psi, shown as a vector, inside the unitary sphere. So it can only go on the sphere, so modulo 1, modulus 1. And here we portray phi, the phase. So the phase is just phi is how much angle you have here. And the global phase is how you look at the whole thing. We don't care. Yeah. The global phase is defined as soon as you put X somewhere on the equator. That defines the global phase. But you see? Good for now? Yeah? Okay. Useful? You know it already, right? Okay. And this is theta here. And this is called the Bloch sphere. Very famous when you study what is a qubit. With that, there are axes, X, Y, and Z, and then an arbitrary construction. On the Z-axis, we put ket 0, ket 1, and on the other axis, we have ket plus, ket minus, ket I, ket minus I. you've been awarded by this famous and magnificent sheet, and you see somewhere just left of the block sphere, you see the formula for these guys, plus, minus, I, and minus I. And I highlighted why we call them this way. Yeah, because plus is 0 plus 1, minus is 0 minus 1, I is 0 plus I1, and so on and so on and so forth. Just one. Okay, with that, what's important is, okay, we know what is a qubit, and one state of a qubit. Sorry, one qubit can have all these states. One state of the qubit is here, and now I named the axis because you can. What can we do? We can change the state. Changing the state is moving psi somewhere else, and the basic, the beginner's way of changing the state is looking at the axis and say, okay, let's build a rotation over x. So 0 goes to 1. Rotation of pi over the axis. 1 goes to 0. And you have got y, rotation on y over about y of pi degrees. 1 goes to 0, not exactly the same. I have a way to explain it's different. If that is x, that is x. Now, y is there. Did you see the difference? Okay, here you see the back of my hand. Here you still see. Okay, so it's. You have to stay here. Okay. So and I assume you know it already. So you have X and some drawings that you find in the IBM setup. Obviously, if you only do this, you don't take advantage of the whole sphere. So you can rotate about X by a certain angle, theta. You can rotate about Y, you can rotate about Z. And when you rotate about Z, you change the phase, not theta. Okay. In other cases, you change theta, not the phase. Theta is related, I should have said that maybe, but if you know already, in 0, the probability of measuring 0 is 1. On 1, the probability of measuring 1 is 1. Any other place, and especially on the equator, and this is why you saw the 1 over square root of 2. We have half. If I'm here, if I do a measurement, it's a toss. I can have 0 or 1, same probability. And here, the probability of having 0 is larger than probability of having 1. All that makes sense. I did not invent, so it makes sense. So these are the basic first gates you can play with. And there is another one, our star, which is the Hadamard gate. So it is still a rotation, but not over the axis. Okay. H has this formula, so it is the 1 over square root of 2 is here just for preserving the norm, and that will give you H if, remember, alpha beta, psi is alpha beta, H over alpha beta will mix alpha and beta if you want, and this will go, for example, H. I did not write it correctly, sorry. H applied to 0 goes to plus. Because 0, the coordinate of 0, of ket 0 are 1 and 0. If you plug 1 and 0 in here, you get 1 and 1 here with the square root of 2. So you get to this point. Question? What is the result, the state resulting of H applied to 1? Minus. Bravo. So next, open your Wi-Fi and we can play 2 minutes. But you don't like to destroy your laptop. Few people like to. Ah. Good. Thank you. Thank you. You're magnetic. So if you want, or maybe we can, if you're ready with your Wi-Fi, go there. And it is a nice simulator. So you find Grokking the Blocksphere on Google or whatever, or you go here, or you tap some word. And it is a little setup, a little toy you can play with. Shows you the Blocksphere, the state vector, starts with ket 0. And then when you play, you can play with the mouse. You can plug wherever you want. It will give you the formula, real complex number, the probability of measuring 0, and the phase view from the top. And you can play with X, Y, Z, H, which I described quickly, and you can play with other. And you can play with Rx, Ry, Rz, which I described in detail. And you can play, there are other things. S is half turn. No, c'est P over 4. S go from here to there. S dagger, because now, and dagger will be the reverse. So you go backward. T is the square, S is the square root of Z. So Z gives you pi. S gives you pi over 2, and T is the square root of S. So what is T to the 4? Z. T to the 8? Identity. Okay. So if you play with that, now or later, it is a good tool to get used to what it is moving the qubit state over the Blocksphere. All right. And that's for 1 qubit. So I've finished the what is a qubit, but I have more, unfortunately. What is 2 qubit? And from there, n qubits is the same. 2 qubits is just is just multiplying 2 qubits, as in multiplying, develop. The only thing you can't do is commute. You have to multiply, but keep. You don't commute anything, and this is why I put indices. But then you have alpha 0 by times gamma 0, alpha 0 times delta 1, this, and so on and so forth. And this is not the same as that. This means the first qubit, qubit A, is at 0, and qubit B is at 1. Okay? This is not 0, 1. This is 1 vector in a 4-dimensional space, that one spanning vector. And then you see 2 qubits have a 4 dimension. So I can't do a Blocksphere or whatever. So no more Blocksphere. So 2 qubits and n qubits is really easy to manipulate. And with that, good news, there is only one. Well, there are others, but mainly you have to clearly be happy with what is a C naught, which is a control knot. So this is a matrix on 4 by 4. And what the rule is, C naught applied to 1 qubit and another qubit. We'll see that in just 1 second. There is a controller and a target. So we are saying now this applies to something. So the rule the naive rule, the rule is we flip target, and flipping means not 0 goes to 1, 1 goes to 0. In a more large psi goes to psi rotated over x. So it can, but the formula stays the same. So we flip the target according to the state of the control qubit. So if control is at 0, we don't flip. It stays as it is. If control is at 1, we flip. This one will flip. This is before we operate. This is after we operate. Now, when it's where it becomes spicy and funny is, okay, but this one maybe is not 1 or 0, maybe is in superposition. So both members of the linear combination will apply at the same time. Okay? So, and you can also keep it as 0, 0 goes to 0, 0. 0, this is the controller. This is the target because they appear here as we draw the operators from top to bottom. So 0, 0 goes to 0. Controller 0, you don't change. Controller 0, you don't change. Controller 1, we flip the target. So we get 1, 1. And controller 1, we flip the target. So we get 1, 0. So that's all you have to know. And then it's linear algebra. So you can have any combination of these guys. All right? So here comes the money time. And I do the rhythm. And there is a missing. What is x applied to 1? I already awarded this. Yeah? What is y applied to 0? I told you. Y applied to 0? 1. You give me back. Think about the next one. Yx applied to 1. C'est sûr, hein? Violet. Yx applied to 1. All you need is love. No, all you need is here. Can pretty, yeah. Y. X applied to 1 goes to 0, y goes to 1. And when I say all you need is here, there is a little part here where you see that yx is minus xy, and xy is iz. That can help. So now it gets difficult, so you have a choice. Okay, what is hx on 0? Yeah, because x on 0, 1, and h on 1 goes to 0, goes to minus. Okay. What did you say? Minus. 1 point in Clermont-Ferrand. The last one gets both. What is easy? What h applied to 0? Oh, but you already have one. I'm tricking. I'm cheating. Sorry. Which one? All right. Next. This one is interesting. What is x applied to plus? And you've got a block sphere to help you. Huh? Who said that? Okay. Why? Yeah. And the mathematical phrase would say the mathematical way of which one? Exactly. Plus is an eigenstate of X operator. And okay, we are kidding, but in the future, these things come very do a working session in the same time. D applied to I minus I. Multiple response. So you didn't have an hour. Which one? This one? Yeah. Okay. And the last one. What is H applied to I? And this is a big closure. H applies to I. I love it. I do that to my students, and this will you can compute it with H, with I. You do it, and you don't find something easy. You have to have a little trick of multiplying by 1 minus I over square root of 2. And this will give you something that you can read, and you still have to get rid of the global phase to say how much? You said? I think you were having an answer. Yeah. Shoot. Okay. And then if you do some mathematical cooking, you find one of the states, one of the 6. Who says that? Minus I. Oh. So it goes to minus I, which is not obvious. This is why you get the big reward. And yeah. Okay. Get it? Useful? Never mind. Funny? That's good. All right. So now, this is an invite to come at the hands-on session. This is what we call a circuit. A circuit is a set of qubits. So here you have Q0, Q1, and you've got some classical bit, C bits. And a circuit means I have qubits on which I apply operators. So now you know H, C naught, and this, and then you measure into the classical register because we can't see quantum states. We can only see information. So you measure into the classical register, and you get this, which is a Bell state. So who does not know what this guy, how this is powerful? Okay, thank you, sir. This is powerful because only 2 operators, and I get a state which has a name, Bell state, Sir John Bell, and the state is this way. Why is that? Because H will is in 1 and 1 plus 0 as a linear combination. So 1 will, the one part, the one component will switch. So when I have 1, the other one goes to 1, and the 0 component does not switch, and this starts with 0. I should have said, sorry, apologize. Convention, we start at ket 0, always, by convention and by experiment. So we get that 0 does not change, 1 does change, and we get this state. What is this state? Now you know that this is a linear combination of 2 vectors out of the 4. So this is a superposition, a state in superposition, and it is also an entangled state. Why is it entangled? Because if I this is one, the red one is 1 qubit, the green one is another qubit. So say they are implemented on photon. I send one there, And I ask the guy here to measure, and there is no way to predict the result because it is 1/2, and there is no way to predict the result, Einstein and so on. And now two things can happen. He measures one. Niels, this is Albert. He measures one. Niels has no other choice than to measure one because there is no 1-0 component. If Albert measures 0, Niels will have to measure 0 because there is no 0-1 component. That's entanglement. You knew it already. Okay, and final, and don't hurry. I have still 1 minute. Why should I hurry? So final, and again, an invite to come, and this will be what we do in the hands-on this afternoon with Eric. This is how you do it with Qiskit. As simple as that. So you install the library. It's Python, should I say. Pip install Qiskit, pip install Qiskit runtime. I have it, so I can read it. Okay. Then you import the object quantum circuit. You instantiate quantum circuit with 2 qubits. And in something that I call QC, quantum circuit. And then you build your circuit by applying methods on the object QC. I'm speaking Python now. So H applied to 0, to qubit 0, and control X. This is syntax, easy syntax. Control X applied to 0 as a controller on the target 1. And he will say, okay. And so that's the circuit you want to run. Your algorithm is here. And then this is some strange syntax, but that's the way it is, on how to execute and measure. And this afternoon, we will run that and see what happens. And hopefully, we can run that on local simulator and on IBM device. Thank you for your attention. No time for questions. No, kidding. If you have questions, but I've been very clear. I've been very clear, so I would be surprised. Prima.
So we have also remarks from you.
Thank you.
Here.